Greetings, everybody. Dave DeWalt here. I'm the founder and CEO of NightDragon, and we're coming to you from the largest cybersecurity conference called RSA here in beautiful San Francisco. It is a huge cybersecurity conference, probably the biggest of all time. We're so excited to be here on a beautiful day here in San Francisco and have a wonderful time. And I have such an amazing opportunity to interview different CEOs of some of the hottest companies in all of cyber. And today I have one of my favorite companies, one of my first investments that I ever made after I left as CEO of Fireside, and the company is called Claroty. And with me today is the CEO, Yaniv Vardi. Thank you so much for joining me, Yaniv. I really appreciate you. And I want to start out by just saying, thank you. Listen, you have one of the most important companies, in my opinion, that really secures critical infrastructure, industrial security. Tell everybody for a minute what the company does, just so we have a little basis of what Claroty is all about, with an O, Claroty.
Sure. So first of all, thank you so much for having me here, Dave. Good morning, everyone. You're a true partner since day one of Claroty, so really appreciate it. Look, what Claroty do, and obviously we secure critical infrastructure. We secure the cyber physical systems for critical infrastructure organizations. And that means the industrial control systems of industrial manufacturing, medical devices for healthcare, hospitals. We secure the extended IoT for these companies, and that's a big thing.
Yeah. One of the biggest challenges that we've all been hearing about is threats and sort of attacks on our critical infrastructure, energy, water, transportation, things. Maybe illuminate the crowd a bit on some of the threats and risks that you're seeing from your vantage point.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, look, we deal with critical infrastructure. That's protecting lives. It's not just credit card or personal information. I mean, take a Colonial Pipeline or a water utility. We heard last year a few water utilities breaches where you had an attacker actually through a PLC getting into the water pump and changing the chemical mix. The intention there is to kill people. That's not a joke. Now, the ransomware attack is all about cash, money, but the outcome of it is killing people.
Very, very scary area where industrial operational technology is under attack. Some of you might have seen a lot of the congressional depositions and subpoenas have been happening under what was called Volt Typhoon, which was known as a Chinese actor who was disrupting and potentially putting footholds into critical infrastructure in America, but also around the world. It really was a wake-up call. This wasn't just about stealing data or ransomware, but potentially real wargaming as well, which really brought a lot of attention to this market, right?
Yeah. No, absolutely. Look, Chinese state-sponsored operation like Volt Typhoon is all about showing their strategy of gaining insights and getting access into the critical infrastructure, right? Their intention is really to disrupt the critical infrastructure and create the chaos there. And unfortunately, that creates a huge risk and put the critical infrastructure on top of mind for many, many companies. But it's not the only example that we see today. Obviously, the acceleration of digital transformation, taking it to the next level, exponential growth of connectivity with obvious reasons of being more productive, being more competitive, creating a better production environment. Obviously, at the end of the day, a lot of good reasons, real-time analytics and so on. But the outcome of all that is that the connectivity of cyber physical systems is growing exponentially. And the race to connectivity by far outpaces the ability to secure it. And this is just an example.
And on top of the threats and risks that are happening in our critical infrastructure, in our particular industrial and IoT, we're also starting to see a lot of regulation as well. Being on the board of Delta Airlines, we realized this when we had to put industrial controls in place because of some threats and risks. So regulation also, right?
Absolutely. Regulation is another good point that creates the the need for these companies to really look at the cybersecurity and make sure it's top of mind for them. You see the TSA regulations for the transportation. You see the Part 11 from the FDA regulations for food and bev and life science. NIS2 is coming in Europe in October. That's, I think, a must for the public sector to collaborate with the private sector and make sure it's top of mind for these companies because it's serious.
Yeah. So not only are you in one of the hottest spaces, both from a threat point of view and a regulation point of view, but Clarity's had an amazing journey. I remember seeing the company in 2016, 2017, when the lab was first being built in Israel and Tel Aviv, and just the technical nature of what this company could do was amazing. And now fast forward, the company has gone over 100 million in revenue, has grown fast. Talk about some of the metrics for a minute, and then I'm going to talk about your recent round. But where's the company at on its journey?
Sure. Look, we finished a great year last year and started the year on a positive note. We exceeded 100 million of ARR, as you've mentioned, already last year. We actually grew the business by 500% in the last 3 years. We grew our customer base by 300%. We exceeded 1,000 customers. We serve today about 20% of Fortune 100. We are in a journey to profitability at the end of next year. And so we really push forward as a business to make sure we protect the critical infrastructure. Last year was a good year for us also on the partnership side. We kind of established a partner ecosystem where we had CrowdStrike and ServiceNow, Fortinet, AWS coming together with us to really serve the critical infrastructure. So the partner ecosystem is growing. Overall, we push forward our platform, and I'll talk more about our platform later on. But
talk about for a second some of your investors as well, because it's not just traditional venture capital and growth, but also some strategic partners as well. Mention to everybody what they are.
Absolutely. So we have the leading automation vendors as investors: Schneider Electric, Rockwell Automation, Siemens. We have strategic investors that are partners and customers that decided to invest in Claroty and be part of this journey. And so we're very fortunate to have these investors, including NightDragon, with us.
Well, we really appreciate that as well. So talk a little bit about the future now. So here we are at the NASDAQ Entrepreneurial Center, streaming with NASDAQ. It's a public platform. I know you can't talk completely about that, but the journey is really an opportunity. This is one of the biggest greenfield markets, biggest risks, biggest threats that we're seeing. What do you see in the future?
Absolutely. Look, first of all, the trends that we see today is that these companies, these customers, had enough with all these point solutions and niche players. They're looking for a platform. They're looking for a one-stop shop. And that's our vision, a comprehensive platform that includes their needs in their journey, from visibility, understand what they have, exposure management, taking vulnerability and risk management to the next level. The traditional vulnerability management is no longer valid or effective anymore. Just last year, 70% of the vulnerabilities were critical, but less than 8% were exploited. So we take vulnerability management to the next level, and we invest a lot in the innovation of risk management and exposure management. We take threat detection to the next level. And the last thing I'll say is that one of the biggest risks for these companies is the remote access, the remote operations that they allow for their third-party vendors, for their internal users. And we secure that as well as part of the platform. Now, you'll see more about that in the next few weeks. We're going to release a lot of great news, so stay tuned.
Ladies and gentlemen, Yaniv Vardi, the CEO of Clarity. Everybody keep an eye on this company, Clarity. I believe this is going to be one of the biggest companies we're ever going to see coming out of cyber, and led by an amazing individual and an amazing company, amazing team. Thank you for joining me, my friend.
Thank you very much.
Best of luck to you.
Thank you.